welcome to the Building One Story at a Time podcast.
We're your hosts. I'm Katie Herbine.
And I'm Stephanie LaChance.
Today, we're talking design details, dissecting model home finishes, and our design process when we're creating a model home.
And we are starting with the beautiful, stunning, wonderful Glenwood home plan model home located at Meadows of Strasburg.
And this is the classic elevation.
Yes. Yep. So let's talk a little bit about kind of like the kitchen, obviously, the heart of the home.
Mm-hmm.
So give us a little breakdown on what those materials are, Katie, and maybe our direction we were going in for the home.
All right. I'll start with the direction that we were going in for the home because I think that kind of plays into the materials that we selected. So when we created this home, we are in a very rural setting with a lot of like farms around, and we kind of wanted to evoke a different feeling.
Mm-hmm.
So you can look out the door and see that, but feel when you're inside the house like you're transported somewhere else. So we went for a very coastal type of feeling with the colors that we went with. And that played a lot into the materials and finishes that we selected. So in the kitchen, we did a soft antique for the perimeter cabinets. So all the cabinets that are on the wall, it's just a very soft, subtle color. Paired that with a wood tone on the island. So again, kind of contrasting that, bringing in this tone that felt a little bit like driftwood, a little bit
cabinet.
beachy. Yeah, that ash cabinet is just a really beautiful color. And then on the backsplash, we did this beautiful glass tile that has since been discontinued, but we have brought in a beautiful replacement for it, still in the glass tile family. So I just love the way that the glass tile brings in a different texture, reflects the under cabinet lighting that we added, and really just kind of like lets the light dance around a little bit because it catches the glass in different ways.
It gives you the effect of that crystal clear Caribbean water.
Ooh,
or sea glass.
That's so true. It's like a sea glass color and like feels like crystal clear blue water.
Mm-hmm. Very calm and tranquil. That was another part of like feeling coastal is like being at ease and being at peace with nature. And I think like a lot of the tones that we see in nature, there's kind of this concept of biophilia, which is bringing the outdoors in. I think as humans, we are inherently supposed to be around nature and we find a lot of peace there. So having those same tones and colors in our indoor spaces is really important because we do spend 90% of our lives indoors.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Go outside.
Go play outside, kids. Speaking of the setting where we're at for this model home, we did a beautiful picture window. So picture window, if you ask Craig Smoot, new home sales specialist, he is going to make sure you get that picture window because we forgot it at the Parkside model home. The Meadows of Strasburg model home has it. Thank goodness it does because this model home is just positioned so well overlooking a farm, a horse farm. So Katie gets to have her favorite view when we visit that neighborhood, horses.
I love horses.
So a nice big window, bringing in a lot of natural light, going to give you that vitamin D that you need. And again, back to our lighting episode, the way that light plays on our samples and our materials that we specify for homes really changes how they look. So having natural light is going to help make the space feel more airy, more bright and light, and just overall more enjoyable.
And also, I remembered what I was going to say finally, having little contrast. So in nature, I mean, there's not like a ton of contrast between materials. I mean, you have some of that like dark wood and dark green from trees and stuff, but especially when you're thinking coastal, it's a lot of like that sand tone and blues. And so we didn't do anything in this house that was high contrast. We kept everything really subtle and kind of just gradually moving to a different tone. Thinking of like the wall paint. So we had a very like warm kind of palette in the kitchen, and then into the walls in the rest of the house, we used an accent color swirling smoke from PPG. And this is just like a deeper color. It's not dark by any means, but it's deeper, a little bit more into that like gray kind of family, but not heavy. And I think that really helped to kind of like when you had a little bit warmer in the kitchen and then shifted to a little bit of a cooler feeling throughout the rest of the house.
And I'd say the swirling smoke too, it's like a bit of a chameleon color Like, it doesn't tie you into a cool or to a warm palette. It can kind of be brought in either direction based on the other things that you pair it with. We did do a tier 1 carpet, so that would be kind of just one level up from the included carpet. And benefits of doing tier 1 carpet is that we get access to nylon fibers. And this carpet line, it's the Shaw Something Sweet line. It's kind of like a low pile, tighter knit carpet. We love it for model homes because it just wears a little bit better than a polyester fiber carpet, especially like on your staircases. And for model homes, we get a lot of traffic in those spaces, and people don't always necessarily remove their shoes. And even now, I mean, this model's been there for almost 3.5 years, I think.
Oh, wait. We've only opened the studio 2.5 years ago.
That's what they said earlier today, but I think they're August 2021.
Is that 2024? I don't know. We said earlier we're not very good at math.
Either way, 3.5 years sounds better than 2.5 years for the point I'm trying to make, which is that the carpet doesn't wear down quite as fast as like a polyester, and it's held up very well for us.
Sorry.
Another kind of playing on the space and the lot that we did was we added a 9x16 synthetic deck out the back. So again, just kind of enjoying those outdoor spaces. This is not a covered deck necessarily, not yet. Could always be one later on in the future if the eventual buyer wants to use Aegis Solstice remodeling to enhance their outdoor living space. But just kind of, again, utilizing the organic architecture, right? The great natural environment that we have there to enjoy at Meadows of Strasburg.
And then the other kind of aspect that we brought in was a fireplace. And we used, instead of a millwork mantle, which would be like kind of your man-made, looks like a typical mantle, we used a manufactured stone surround for the fireplace. So again, bringing in more of those natural elements. And then it has a box mantle on it, which we stained to coordinate with the flooring. So you kind of have that all tied in. A lot of natural elements we used in this model home because we were trying to evoke that nature and that soft, kind of comfortable, warm feeling you get being at the beach and on the coast.
Absolutely. And at Meadows of Strasburg, we do not have natural gas service there, so that is actually an electric firebox, which is now available for any neighborhood. So if you are considering a fireplace and you're not a fan of running natural gas, we've heard that concern before, an electric fireplace would be an option that's available to you. We did actually let's talk a little bit about the retreat bath in this model.
The owner's bathroom is gorgeous. So the retreat bath, we had the freestanding soaking tub in there, and then we did a 4-foot ceramic tile shower. Tell us a little bit about, kind of describe how we designed that shower and why we picked the materials that we did.
Yeah, so on the walls, we have a 12 by 12 square tile. It's actually a discontinued tile, but it was kind of like an off-white, maybe a little bit of a cream color. We did that with bright white grout. So my personal preference when it comes to tile, whether it's your shower walls or it is your backsplash, is to have an accent grout. There are some exceptions to this. For example, if you're doing a mosaic accent, that could change my opinion. But for the most part, I generally like an accent grout. So if you're doing like an off-white or cream tile, a white grout is really going to enhance each tile and make it kind of stand out. If you did a grout that kind of coordinated to the tile color itself, it just kind of becomes like one large visual plane. It doesn't really add as much dimension or make each individual tile kind of stand out and shine on its own. And then just like the kitchen, we wanted to tie in, like bring in, have a cohesive design, right? So in design, it should be cohesive. It shouldn't necessarily feel like a carnival house. We're not going for different themes in every room when we design a model home. So we tied in, again, we used a Glazio accent band. We did a horizontal accent band. We went with the Route 66 color from the Americana series. And that's, again, just like a really natural earth tone, but also with a few like blue specks to it. So again, mimicking, evoking that natural, that kind of beachy, that coastal flair. And then we tied that into the Adriatic Sea cabinet color, which obviously from the name of the cabinet, it is very coastal. It's kind of like a dark blue, but maybe with a little bit of a green undertone to it. And then we brought it all together by doing gold accents in this bathroom. So gold plumbing fixtures, brushed gold Moen faucets, shower head, on-off valve, accessories on the wall, meaning your paper holder, your towel bar, your hand towel bar, and then the satin champagne cabinetry hardware, which really kind of pops against that Adriatic Sea cabinet.
Yeah, it looks really beautiful. And then for the countertop that we used in that bathroom, we did the Carrera Mist, which really kind of brings back in some of those brassy kind of gold tones in the countertop, but also has like a deep blue type of vein that runs through it. So it really ties it all together. And I think another interesting thing about that Glazio tile that we used as the accent band in the shower is it's a mosaic tile. So it's all like on a sheet, but it has different materials on it. So there's some small glass tiles, some tiles that look like natural stone. You get a lot of different texture and movement in that accent band. And I think, like Steph said, that's a great way that we used to kind of tie it all back together, even if that wasn't necessarily what we thought at the time, but it works out like that. Absolutely.
Ooh, another thing I remembered about this plan and model home, it has the double doors to the owner's bedroom.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, very unique architectural feature. And of course, we had to throw the cathedral ceiling in here as well. I think this might be like one of the biggest owner's bedrooms that we offer across all of our home plans.
It's really big. And I think, like Steph said, that double door entry into it, it feels grand. You're like, I've made it. And I think, too, the staging that we used in this house, we didn't personally pick these items out, but we worked closely with the interior decorator who did. And I love the use of, especially in the owner's bedroom, some of that, a little bit of Art Deco kind of inspired, a little bit of that 70s with like the rust couch, and then those like figureheads that are little accent tables in there. I think the decorating also really
Easter
helped
Island
to
stools.
pull. Yeah. Yeah, I really love the model home here. And I think, too, the upstairs layout of the Glenwood is really interesting because your owner's bedroom is right there. But then as you move back through that hallway, it really opens up in the back of the house when you have like that kind of turn of the corner where you enter either one room or the other room. It feels really big up there.
I've always joked that it's like the perfect home plan for a family with teenagers because the teenagers can't sneak out.
That's so true.
They'd have to sneak out past the owner's bedroom. But one thing not to forget about the Glenwood is doing the railing at the second story landing, because this is one of our few home plans that has a 2-story foyer. And what a great way to make a statement. And then on top of the closet, you've got that great plant shelf, and plants would thrive there. I mean, they would love that natural light. So to make that more accessible, you'll want to be sure to make sure you get the railing there rather than having the half wall.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point, that it's definitely a statement when you first walk in the door to see that little architectural detail up there. A little personality, too, because you can change that railing style and do metal balusters, or we can pick the stain color and really make it something that feels personal to you.
Absolutely.
I love the large beach scene that we did on the turn of the stairs there.
Yes.
Yeah. That one's a really cool picture.
And I love the big art that we did too.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's easier, or it's more visually pleasing, not necessarily that it's easier, but it's more visually pleasing to fill a space with large art rather than trying to fill a large space with smaller pieces of art.
We did that same type of theme in the furniture. So in the main living space, we did your overstuffed kind of slouchy couch, and then those Sherpa chairs as accent chairs, all really type of like pretty bulky furniture on its own. But when you only have 3 pieces in the space, that bulk really helps to kind of, you can be a little bit more minimal with the amount of things that you put in because you're using larger scale things. I think that's something that really helps to help keep this home feeling open, airy, not cluttered.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then using the glass-topped table in the breakfast area, you're really not impeding on sight lines with something like that. So I really love the use of the glass-top table in there.
Yeah, exactly. It's not like you come in and you're met with, oh, here's a lot of furniture, because it does have kind of that very open layout between family room, eating area, kitchen.
Yeah.
So it's nice that we kind of avoid that heaviness with the staging.
We did. So the dining room on the Glenwood is kind of right off your foyer from the front entry. And we did a really beautiful craftsman style chair rail in here. So again, kind of elevating that look. And I love the furniture that the stagers chose. They have these like kind of draped, it almost looks like a chair cover on the 4 upholstered chairs that are used on either side. And then again, really soft colors and pairing it with deep blues and pinks.
Blue is the
even.
theme.
Yeah, blue is kind of the theme in here. And I don't love like a strong repeating theme of color, but I think that this is so subtle that it's really well done.
Yep.
All right.
Oh, and before we sign off, we should mention the exterior palette because we also tied in the blue there.
We did. So we used on the shutters. So this is a classic elevation. So it has those shutters on the front elevation. And we did a pretty natural type of main horizontal siding. We used the linen. So it's a little bit softer even than the white horizontal siding. And then we paired it with this really beautiful blue accent siding, the English Wedgwood in the vertical board and batten siding. It is white siding. So it is white siding. So we did the white siding on the exterior of the house and then paired it with the really beautiful kind of deeper blue English Wedgwood for the board and batten. And then those shutters we did as the dark navy. What color do we pick for the front door, Steph?
The very popular aqua smoke, PPG color.
Another PPG color. And that's like a totally different tone of blue. I like how we paired different shades and different tones of the same hue.
Absolutely. Yeah. But then still tying into the theme, and then the colors all still work together that way.
Yeah.
So they're very complementary colors.
Yeah.
Or analogous colors.
Yeah. Another thing we did on this house, do you think that is? We did fieldstone for the exterior stone. So kind of, again, bringing back that organic, natural feeling. We chose a stone that reflects that. It's more organic. It's irregular. A lot of craftsmanship goes into kind of like laying that stone. They're hand shaping some of them. So we picked that coastal fieldstone with your more irregular styles so that you didn't have something that felt so rigid like a cobblestone or a dry stack.
Yep. Yeah, we were trying to avoid some of the linear, like too many linear lines on this house because we really did want to appreciate the location and the site and the place that this home was, which is a very rural area.
Rolling hills.
Yes, yeah. Wanted to kind of reflect that rural, but you're still very close to downtown Strasburg, which has many things to offer.
Definitely. Yeah, we actually toured around Strasburg the one day and made several trips back to the model home because it was so close.
Yes. Yep, we did. Anything else you want to add about the design of this model home? Or I just want to mention the LVP flooring that we used because you talked about the kind of the tones in it. I think earlier.
That's definitely one of the big ones that we should talk about. I think the flooring selection that went into this home was another really big important kind of design feature, and it's what tied everything together was the luxury vinyl plank that we used from Adura, the Napa dry cork. I mean, just its name sounds coastal. The Napa dry cork has shades of lighter, darker, more varied, really, really beautiful and soft. And we did that throughout the entire main level. And then for the carpet we chose, we did the sterling color, which is kind of that like a little bit ambiguous, like the walls, has that kind of gray undertone. So you're cooling it down a little bit. And then transitioned into the owner's bathroom where we did a beige matte tile. So again, warming it back up in the owner's bathroom. I really love the play that we did in this house of cool and warm. You don't ever have to be just one.
Yep. Yeah, you never have to lean too hard in either direction. In fact, when we design, that's how we prefer to design, is pairing those tones together because it really kind of complements each other nicely and brings everything to feel like different pieces of the whole.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. I think that's everything we have for today.
All right.
do you want to share your favorite sample that we currently offer through the design studio?
Sure. All right. So lately I've been loving, we just introduced a new LVP line. The new LVP.
I know where you're going.
This color is called South Bay, and it's beautiful. It's that really light wood that people are always asking for and is hard to achieve. So it's a luxury vinyl plank, so it's a man-made material, and they're knocking it out of the park. I love that line.
Absolutely. Yep, we are. That is just flying off the shelves.
Yeah, it really is.
For sure. I would say my favorite sample as of right here, right now, today would be the porcelain ceramic tile that we offer. It's a tier 4 level, so it's a little on the higher side. It is from the Garden State tile manufacturer, the Renova line, color slate.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That one's a really good.
Yeah.
It has like a very natural stone look to it, and then there's several colors in that line that all look really realistic.
This one is the darkest one. So again, here, I love to see it installed with a lighter grout color because it's really going to like bring out the beauty of each tile. But it has like more of like a natural finish to the top of the tile too. It's not necessarily like a smooth tile.
Yeah, it's not glossy either.
Yeah, and it kind of undulates, not like in a man-made way, but more in a natural way, which I love. Anytime that man-made materials, which are more generally more
repetitive.
Yeah, but that rather than like mining out of the earth or using our natural resources, more ethical.
Oh,
in a
okay.
sense. That's where I was going.
I was like thinking synthetic, ethical. Okay.
Sometimes when it comes to man-made materials, which can sometimes be more ethical than like mined materials or materials that we have to source from the earth and using up our natural materials. So I love it when a man-made material can reflect a natural material and kind of mimic those natural properties and characteristics that you see.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a perfect point. All right. Thank you for spending your time with us. We will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.